This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that.
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello, a warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend Podcast. Fabulous racing on offer at Cheltenham and Doncaster on the Saturday. And as we were very poor last week and didn't show up, we've got the best team on this week. It's my good pal Jonas and my good friends Andy Richmond and Chris Gartner. Good evening, chaps.
Good evening.
Evening.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
We are ready to rock and roll, and Chris did very well in his first week. Andy's doing very well in the Naps table, a former winner, of course. So we're hoping that this Best Bets round will get us off to a flyer and certainly line your pockets with some silver before Father Christmas jumps down the chimney soon. Right, off to Best Bet round. A 1 point bet as we start. Chris, I'm coming to you for your 1 point.
All right, Lee. Thank you. I'm off to Donny in the 240, and I'm going to go with Charlie Longsdon's rare edition here. Comes in fresh, which I think is what this horse actually needs. I think I mentioned last time I was on, I felt Longsdon didn't half give him a hard campaign as a novice last year. He was seen as the best of the Brits and the Supreme, which probably isn't saying an awful lot, is it? Let's face it. But I think these are his conditions, and I think, handicap debut. It's hard to say whether he's absolute that expression of chucked in, but listen, he's a top of the ground horse, which it looks a bit sticky at Donny today. Then I don't know, they weren't moving through it as much as I thought. I thought there was a bit of a soft in it, but to be fair, he has won at Kempton with a bit of give there as well. I mean, if you look at that Kempton form, he's had Nichols' smart one pretty far behind, hasn't he, really, there? I wouldn't worry about the jockey. Apparently the jockey rides him out every day. So I just think he gets his conditions there, and I think he'll be hard to beat, to be honest with you, if he's ready. And you think that Longson will get him ready first time up,
Okay, that's a good start. That's rare edition. And the price for you, Chris, is 6-1 generally available for your 1 pointer. And I'll follow you up with a Klaxon because my 1 point win is also rare edition. For the very reasons you mentioned, it was a tough campaign. He had and his form tailed off last back end. He's second in the Sydney Banks. He'd scoped dirty after that. Before that, he'd looked a world beater. He thumped the likes of Matchless, which reopposes today. Thumped him easy. I think it's a good bet. I think Bradley Roberts, 17% as a conditional. He rides him at home, brilliant. Nothing to worry about there. The only thing I'd be concerned about, Charlie, who normally gets them ready at this time of year, and that's all these have been needing a run. And I don't know if this is a prelude to a chasing campaign, perhaps. That'd be my only worry, that's why I've made him 1 point. So we've got a Klaxon, but like you said, there are plenty of upside at the price and your case, Chris. So I like the Klaxon bet, and it's 1 point win for me also. Andy Richmond.
Right, we're going to Cheltenham, bit of Venetia, 225, easy as that. Thought they'd run it in the, whatever it's called now. I'd still probably call it a Mackerson or something like that, but I think it's the Virgin Bet Gold Cup, isn't it? It's a sort of other bit to the Paddy Power Gold Cup. But I thought they'd run him in that. But I think she spotted an opportunity here with Protectorat running off top weight. It's sort of got him in with a nice easy weight, easy as that. I think the horse needs this sort of trip. I thought they'd run him back in that Virgin Bet Gold Cup, but he just didn't get the run of the race in that Paddy Power last time out. It was really tough. That whole meeting, if you remember that whole meeting, it was really tough to come from off the pace. He was the sixth home. It's been well documented how good form she's in it lately. I think the horse needs this trip now. He just seemed to get dragged out of his comfort zone there, and this looks a lot easier. I think he's got plenty of ability. You look through the field, Broadway Boy, I know you like it, Lee. I think you'd probably give him a decent chance.
I think he had an hard race, Andy, last time.
That's what I thought. He had a hard race. I didn't think Easy as that had a particularly hard race. He's in off 10 stone 2. She's still banging in the winners, Venetia. I'm not a massive fan of 3 under through 5. I think the horse is a bit of a Fruit Loop, to be honest with you. Protectorat off 12 stone. He just didn't fire last time out. It didn't look to be a lot in this. I think the horse needs this step up in trip. Off 10 stone 2 with Charlie Boy on top for Venetia. I thought he was worth a point in that particular race.
Fair point indeed. 9-2. That's with Bet 365, 888, and N10. So that's Andy with a 9-2 chance. Myself and Chris with 2 6-1 perk. Well, that's 1 6-1 perk. John, where are you off to? Is it the Tapita or is it the jump?
It's Thurles on Sunday.
Oh wow, that were a curveball. I love it.
Yeah, I was overrun with opportunities for bets over the sticks tomorrow, obviously. So this is one I actually put up last time, and I think what they're doing might be just what the doctor ordered. Having watched the last race a couple of times, it's Whiskey Wealth in the 235. This one's going back over hurdles after a few forays over the big black ones, and I think the fact that this one can run off 113 here, actually a net 106, I think. With
Big John Shinnick in the saddle, yeah,
compared to 126 over the big black ones. I think that's going to help enormously. He probably proved that he's not quite up to 126 last time, but I think this will be just the ticket for him. He looked a bit laboured going over the fences as well, I thought, last time. I think this might just... I'm loath to do this because I think once these types look as though they want cheering up, they generally want pensioning off, but... I think this might cheer him up enough to do the business in a piss poor contest.
It's what we love, a happy handicap hurdler on the Sabbath.
No, nothing like
cheer him right up. Of course, this horse nearly beat might have beaten Dino Blue when it was a length on Dino Blue over the fences. And like you say, it might have just sickened him off if he's not finding a rhythm over fences. He might just cheer him up, as John says, going back over the smaller obstacles. John, 1 point win will give you a fair price, 2 rule books tomorrow night.
Obviously,
yeah.
That'll go mine nicely.
Yeah, okay, mate. So 1 point win, good case made. Right, Andy, start the 2 point round, please.
Right, okie dokie. We're going to Doncaster, the last race there. Hopefully the sun won't get in the way. It didn't today. No. And we're going with one of Mr. Honeyballs. He won the Badger Beer last time out with Blackjack Magic, who is a horse I like. I think he's a very progressive young chaser. But there was one of the runners that really caught my eye. It was another one of these, which was the 6th home, Forward Plan. They ran him from £7 out the handicap. He made a massive move into contention, especially as a bit of it came round the bend, which is a move I particularly hate from jockeys, because it usually manages to burst the thing completely. And in this occasion, it did, especially on the back of a 7 months absence. In fact, that was the first time that Forward Plan had actually finished out of the frame, outside the first 3 on the over fences. His form's been pretty good. He meets one of his conquerors from Ayr back in the spring, Sail Away, on much better terms this time out. He's got a lovely pull at the weights. I think he ran a very sound race last time out. Doncaster should suit him ideally. Get a bit of rhythm in there, coming up the home straight. And I think this is probably the place they've been aiming for. So 2 points win, Forward Plan.
2 points win, Forward Plan for the Honey Monster and team. 5-1. I can see is pretty much generally available for that horse. So that's a nice sort of price. Have a couple on. Good start to the round from Andy. John, coming to you.
Right. Next one, believe it or not, is on the Tapeta at Wolves. The 6 o'clock race. Rather like Dr. Zuby, who I think has been progressing with racing. I think the graph looks to be on the up, shall we say. I don't think this is all that as a contest, to be honest. There's plenty of debutants in. There's plenty of shit in this as well, to be perfectly honest. I was finding it very hard to find progressive horses to mark up as dangerous, to be honest.
Yeah.
The only one, really, is the favourite out of the stars. There wasn't one since Ascot. And I'm not certain actually Watson would have this cherry ripe to bring the horse back for for a Woolly Bags novice event, you know. There's not a lot in it on racings with him either way, but I mean, the fact that Spit and Mick's got this one hard sit now, I think should tip the balance myself. I'd also prefer Billy Garrity over Joshua O'Brien, I think, as well. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Plus, the favourite's drawn bang on the rail, so he only has to be a little bit rusty, and he's in position shit, isn't he? So, yeah, I think this is a reasonable bet against the Fev, around the 3-1 for 2.20.
Do you want the threes?
I'd love the threes.
Right. What are you doing tipping a Michael Easterby or something?
I've nothing against the yard training the odd winner, you know. It's just when the yard's passing the fucking hat round, that's when I get a bit.
or nicking all the sandwiches, John.
Yeah, I know.
John hates the massive gammon delivery from America when it arrives because they all think he's poor, don't you, John?
Get the honey out.
It wears a bit thin, doesn't it? A multimillionaire telling you how you should work out what you can do without. Right?
Yeah, very good. Right, Chris, let's carry the round on in good spirits, and hopefully you've got a belter.
Hopefully. So 125 are off to Donny, and I believe the favourite here is, well, it's cost us a bit, hasn't it? Let's face it. In terms of
any harm in asking? Yeah, Cliff.
Bloody hell. I mean, I haven't got over that Welsh champion hurdle.
No.
I mean, and I know Fry hasn't either.
Yeah.
By God, didn't he hung? He hung everywhere that day. Jesus, but it's that's a couch job if you're following him again. I mean,
he ran a belter last time, didn't he, at Newbury? But you know.
But he runs belt. He runs belters every time he races, doesn't he? But belters don't pay the mortgage, do they? I'm going with and there's 2 owners group horses in this, so they'll be there. I'm going with Donald McCain's Barrichello here. If you look back at his novice form, it's really good. He had Good Risk at All way behind him. And you look at Good Risk at All, Mark, now. He didn't take to chasing last year, which I'm surprised by because he's stacks of size. Women's tights go in the mouth. You look at his opening mark. This was a horse that was deep in the 130s here, and he's running off 124. You know, he ran all right in the Scottish Champion Hurdle in 2022. I just think he's got a bit left. He's got a bit in his mark there, so I could see him going well tomorrow.
You can have. Well, there's one thing I need to mention that I've got a paddock note on Barry Keller that it needed the run last time as well. So this is and McCain's have been needed. But yeah, 11-2 you can have. 13-2 if you're lucky enough with Denise Kurtz.
I mean, this is a horse that won the Newton. I mean, you look at the horses he had behind him. He had Sonagino, Nichols one, who won at Aintree there off top weight. He had Knickerbocker Glory, who the scout ones plotted back. You know, this is a horse with a serious amount of ability there. Who I think they just, you know, they tried their best to make him a chaser, and for whatever reason, but it's only his 3rd handicap start. You know, I think he's got a bit left in his mark.
McCain has a decent record at Doncaster as well. That's he like Banger and Haydock. McCain does target horses at Doncaster. He's got a good
Maximilian and all that, and River.
Yeah, does strike a chord with that course. So yeah,
Black Red Rum at Doncaster.
Yeah, interesting.
Hit him everywhere.
That were ginger.
If ever there was a reason to back Barrichello, it's that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the connection. So
he's been a bit whiny, old Donald, hasn't he? Recently,
he has.
Yeah, been a bit of a grumpy old.
But he's not getting. I'll be honest, right? And the paddock stuff that comes back to me from Paddock Sleuth, Adam Norman, etc., are saying most of McCain's have been fat. I don't know if whatever he works them on, or I don't waterlogged. What I don't know, but they're turning up to the races not fit. I think the McCain yard's one to look out for going forwards because I just think a lot of them have turned up not cherry ripe. So
he was on the box today, Lee, with the first race. He had 2 runners in the first race, Bangor, and he was on the telly, got interviewed and said both would need the run. They both drifted like a barge. Yellow, and they punted one, Yellow Jacket. You could see it blew up.
I mean, this is it. It's good for our listeners, this, because you can sort of like keep an eye on the yard. If you've seen a few horses that have just either travelled well or ran okay to say 3 out and then just stopped. Don't let it put you off. It's probably old Donald's. He might be doing Nicky Richards on the whiskey and driving down the M6 the wrong way on the tractor.
Maybe like big Ginger and serving them off at national meeting.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, trainers always have a little modus operandi there. I think that yard could be interested going forwards. I certainly won't be taking on Barrichello tomorrow, and obviously Chris makes a very good case. To finish the round off, then we go. It's a clash with Andy. It's not really a clash with Andy because I like Andy's selection in the race, the Witches. That was my danger. Broadway Boys in my 5 to follow on Patreon. I felt it was an unnecessary hard race last time. Like the rider was just kicking him in the belly from a long way out, and I just didn't like that. I thought you've got the race won from a long way, and he's still like rowing away, like it's like coming into the last. Come on, faster! It's like a Jerry Elliwell song. Scream if you want to go faster, baby. So yes, so for that reason, I came up with something else in the race, only because I believe Cromwell has the carrots. At the moment, Cromwell's the man. He had a lovely winner today at Cheltenham, the mare that won the handicap, and I believe Melina Girl had the carrots last time. I mean, just watch that crossing the line last time. I thought it was going to run into the boards at the top. It was ridiculous. I thought Melina Girl was the one to be on at 6 to 1 with Bet365 and 888 for that reason alone. That she was very, very impressive. Like I say, I was looking to take on Broadway Boy. I liked Andy's case. I also agree with Andy on 300 through 5. I think City Chief has claims. Protector has questions to answer under a very big weight. So yeah, Melina Girl for me, 2 points win. 6 to 1 with Bet365 and 888. Jonas, I would like you to start the 3-point round, please.
It's my pleasure. Kingmont, 5:30, Wolves.
Yeah.
This, believe it or not, caught the eye on debut. I think going up in trip a furlong and a half is probably ideal. Red to go considerably further at 3. But I think I don't think this will take much winning at all, to be honest. It's a very similar race to the one I put the other one up, really, I think. And I can't believe the price, to be honest. I think this is ridiculous value, to be honest.
8 to 1.
Around about the 8 to 1 mark. I'm very surprised. I think that they're overrating one or two of these. I think I'm not going to say which ones I think are going to be overrated because obviously they'll come back and bite me on the ass tomorrow night. Yeah, 8 to 1's ridiculous. It'd have to be a total not-off job, I think, to be out the frame. So I ought to go sneaky, 1.5 each way, but bollocks to it. I'm going to go 3 win.
3 win at the 8 for Kingmont, and that's ridden by Bob Marley for Harry Eustace there in the 5:30 tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
indeed, jamming.
We're jamming, of course. Yes, that's an interesting selection, John. Cheers for that. 3 points on the noggin. I'll carry us on by going back to the television action, and that's at Town Moor in the 205 race. Like Andy said earlier, hopefully there'll be no dolled off action tomorrow, which really does ruin Doncaster.
I think it was the first time today I've seen fences jump there in the home straight this year. Well, not this year, this season.
Did you see that Exeter one the other day, Andy?
The one with
the 5 miler or whatever, and
they
jumped nothing, and then the bloody German flatbread one.
We got well shafted there, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, so hopefully it won't, because I do believe this horse quite likes fences. Mr. Who is the bet. The Toby Laws runner, Tom Cannon in the saddle, and I was very impressed with this on debut over fences. I felt this was very, very eye-catching. If you look after the line, Mr. Who was blasting past this, and Oxygen had the good old witch juice. Oxygen, obviously, is probably very well handicapped anyway. And the way this stayed on so strong, I thought, God, this has got a future. Nothing not to like. I thought Doncaster will suit it. Big galloping expanse, no undulations up and down like Lingfield, coming down the hill, all that rubbish. And I just felt this track would be ideal for Mr. Who. Get the job done for Toby Laws. And nothing not to like. How this is 9 to 2 I do not know. I would have it market leader. I'd be in it sort of around the 5-2 mark for this. I thought it was a very good debut, and the horse is underrated. I think he's going to be 130 plus over fences for sure. So, very confident selection on Mr. Who. 3 points at the 9-2. Chris Gartner.
I'm off to Cheltenham, and I'm on to the 1240, the Novices Limited Handicap Chase, and I'm going with Nicky's Wise Guy in the Mike Bike colours. Change of ownership there. So I think I thought he was pretty impressive at Exeter, and I think that's for a novices race, I think that's a fairly deep race. I think Pimlico Point for Kerry Lee in seconds. He should be winning chases. I think, he had Make Your Mind Up, who had some good novice hurdle form at graded level, to be honest with you, far behind as well. Great name that went well the other day as well. So I think that's a fairly strong novice form. If you look at his hurdle form as well, he's had Nickelback in back. I think that was at Cheltenham actually when he came second to the now banned Mr. Martin.
Yeah, indeed.
What a surprise!
Yeah.
Shocked. Yeah, I think there's more to come with him. I'm probably silly, aren't I? Taking on the Nichols Cobden at Cheltenham in a novices handicap. But I don't know. That form at Huntingdon last time out. I mean, he didn't beat Captain Morgs all that lot. I'm sure we'll come on to Mr. Coffee later. So I thought there was just a bit of a gap. The Twister horse is interesting because obviously they're bringing over Mickey there, and I think that's something that's a plan for a Kim Muir or the Not So 4 Miler later, isn't it? But yeah, I'll go with the Wise Guy for the main one.
Good stuff. That's 7-2, generally available for you, Chris, for your max. A good selection, that. I think we've all been caught being disappointing. Twister spoke of this as being the apple of his eye, but his potential.
Apple, isn't it?
Yeah, future Gold Cup horse, but obviously I think plans have been reevaluated, and that's an interesting spot where you're saying about Keogh Sullivan coming over. That about the Kim Muir, that's a good little spot. That little feel up, yeah. And you're right about the Fav as well. Mufasa beat an absolute disgusting hanging Captain Morgs at Huntingdon. So I think you're right to try and oppose the front end. Andy Richmond, can you finish us off in style?
Well, we've got to have something in the big race, haven't we?
Of course, why not?
Whatever it's called now, and
Yeah.
I'm going to trust my friend Mr. Mullins, not the Willie variety, the Emmett variety. There's always a name that attracts plenty of attention in handicaps. I reckon he's pulled a fast one here, or the green and gold have pulled a fast one because they've managed to leave in Fakir Dudery, who always needs to run off top weight, and it's got so Scottish in it, on a nice little weight, hasn't he? He's had a lovely little tune up the other week where they ran him all the way round the inside. It was a real float up at Gowran Park over 2 miles. Ran him round the inside. It's very weak in the betting. They ran him all the way round the inside of the unfavoured part of the track, and he just looks tuned up for a big run. I think he's the sort of shunter Mark II. They tried to pull off a double last year. Well, they tried to line this up for the plate last year. And do you remember it was when the ground went to shit? He actually travelled like the wrath of God, and I think he just got a little bit too soft for him, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure they've left him off quite a long time. And I think he just was lacking a little. I don't think he was quite cherry ripe, but I think he is this time. They put a first-time tongue tie on. I wouldn't view that as a negative either, because they've done that with the shunter as well. I just think he looks like the shunter Mark II. He ran off that. He was off a £2 lower mark than he ran at the festival last year, and I just think there is. Let's trust. Not about Willie's in the bumper. Let's have Emmett's in the handicap. 3 points win.
I really like it, and we'll come on to that race obviously in the discussion. But yeah, 11-2 generally available for Andy for the 3 notes.
I'll probably have the 3 points on it, but I would probably just, if you look at the extended places, or maybe just in the place markets on Betfair to save your stakes. That's probably the way. That's probably the way I'd play it. But for the purposes of the competition,
Of
that's
course.
3 points on the noggin.
Of course. I mean, talking about this race in the past, I want to test your memories here. So, was this the Thomas Pink or the triple print?
I'd have
John?
to get me chasers and hurdlers out for this, which are all sitting on the shelf here. My complete set. I think it was, well, way back, wouldn't it have been? It would have been the Mackerson, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a Mackison, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've just got Mackerson, Thomas Pink,
Because
triple print.
wasn't the forerunner, the Paddy Power was the Massey Ferguson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I am old, so I'm going right back here.
Yeah.
And then we've had the Thomas Pink. I think this might have been. I'd have to check back. I really would have to check back.
Yeah. Listeners, get in touch. What's this being called? Yeah, that's a good Twitter question. What's this race? The big sponsor, the triple print. I'm sure this was triple print. But anyway,
Yeah, I think triple print have done it. The Thomas Pink has been floating around. It would have been at one time, but I would have said that way back there was Massey Ferguson was what is now the Paddy Power, and the Mackerson is this race.
Much underrated drink, Mackison.
what
Do
Mackerson's
they still make it, John?
Mackerson's a stout, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still make it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Heavy gear, that, isn't it?
Madison's selling.
Not as heavy gear as those gold labels. Remember them? My old man used to drink them.
Oh, fucking hell, barley wine, yeah.
That's your old man going to the shed for an hour or two, isn't it?
Oh, dear me. Jesus.
I had 18 of them one night, Andy, and fell off the bus platform.
I can well believe it. I had about 2 and fell over. So
that's potent stuff. That. I mean, I'm a massive gin drinker now, but I remember the barley wine days. Jesus, somewhere right alcos, don't we? Anyway, on to the TV round, and this is where we go through the races and hopefully maybe steer you on something that you like. And that's the beauty of this round, is that like if we can back your confidence up on something that you like, then obviously that helps. If we don't, it might also help because we're shit. Right, the 115 at Cheltenham is the first one there on the old TV card, and Inex Chelsea's Deo leads the charge 15-8. From Calico. Any thoughts on this, chap? I was quite indifferent to this race. I've got no real view. So, Chris, Andy, I'll come to you first.
It wasn't a race I particularly liked. I think Calico's had enough of his wins, but I don't know. I just don't think he finishes races off. In Excelsis, Dio looks well handicapped, but is he? Fernando Civila is a horse I quite like, but I've given him that many chances now. I just can't. I can't bring myself to back him again. I think I'll on a day when it is actually a very good day's racing tomorrow. There's lots of tricky handicaps. I think this one was definitely the one I was playing the pass card on.
Yes, indeed. Chris?
Yeah, I'd agree. I worry about Calico on that last fence. And coming into it, I just think when push comes to shove and the pressure's on, I think he's got a mistake in him. I think it will be a pretty strong pace in it. I think that will give a lovely pull to Fries. I think they were learning about Fries. I don't think anyone expected him to bolt up at Hereford, did they? He blew that away. Obviously, a weak race, still really immature. He wears a hood, doesn't he, out to the track. I just think it would take some getting. I think he's bred for that ground. Everyone saw him last time, didn't they? He was an absolute eye catcher in third last time out. As you say, I think the green and gold probably have a good day tomorrow, Andy. So,
Well, I'm hoping so.
I think Calico 143 is optimistic. 143, I think that's an optimistic mark for him to be winning off. I think that's really high.
I don't know, Lee. Sorry to interrupt. I think here I just couldn't. You couldn't trust him right at the end of a race, could you?
No. I know what you're saying. That's the thing. I mean, in the John Bomb race, he didn't get over the last then, and I know he was like 7 lengths down, but he still went at it. But there you go. I'd just go with the fact that 143, I think's high enough. Outcome Risk, I don't think's a chaser. I think he's a better hurdler. That's my assessment so far.
I mean, if you look at Calico, Lee, you look at the races he's been beaten in when he's traded short. There's a 107, a 131, a 134, 156. It's just he might come near cruising, but I just don't trust him.
No.
You almost want him to come cruising. I think Burke will want
Yeah.
him to come cruising. I think Burke, I know it's a different course, but I think Burke will have him strong pace, Calico up there, Harry goes on, makes a mistake, in goes Fries, passes him on the way. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well read, Jonas.
You should have had Fry on this show instead of me, really.
She actually wants to come on, but we've got her next week.
She could have been live from the weighing room tonight, couldn't she? You know, pegging Henry Brook in the showers or something. You know, up to the minute info. I don't really have an opinion on this other than thinking In Excelsis Dio might have a different target further down the line that might be worth taking on at sharp pace. But I'm not thrilled at what's running against him, so bollocks to it.
No, I think we've summed it up. We're not over blessed with strong opinion on that. The 150, then the triple print, the Mackerson, the whatever. Yeah, you name it. Wholly with Andy here. I looked at this race. It's a lovely renewal, really. Thunder Rock, he's obviously a very capable horse. Nice reappearance. Mon Miral will depend on the wind up, and I wouldn't write that off. I know some people think, well, you know, a bit windy. Does it get 2.5? Blah blah blah. I get that. This was a one-time really, really smart animal. I'm not so sure. I wouldn't side with it. But that's why I'm with Andy's, because I do think there's room for manoeuvre in that mark at 141. I genuinely feel Sir Scottish is better than that. It's interesting that they've gone with the tongue tie. Might just have had a little wind tinker, because obviously you don't have to declare it in Ireland. So might just have had a little play about with the palette. Might just help the cause. That was my thoughts on it. Chris, I'm intrigued to get your thoughts.
I like Nichols' Monreal.
Yeah.
I know he's been called all sorts, but I just wonder whether...
Is that Nichols or the horse?
Well, yeah, exactly, both. By who as well? I just think that I thought they might target him at the one before the November meeting. I read somewhere that they might do, but he's obviously had the old Nichols WS over the summer, handicap debut. I mean, I don't know. Cobden must be seeing some. The way he's just riding out of his skin at the moment. That Genie Destin. I know. You could say Grey Dawning. Obviously had a mistake there, but he is something. He is something else on the front end there. Yeah, and I know what you mean about So Scottish, Andy. I mean, that was ridiculous. Gowie,
the run last time. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I mean, they go around in a swimming pool, and he's on the rail, isn't he? You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, you couldn't not say it. I just if it wouldn't be a race I'd have a massive strong opinion. The Thunder Rock favourite, that Colin Murphy's been saying, I don't know, we'll send him back over hurdles, but Max and the family want to keep him over fences, and yeah, I just wonder how much scope he's got really. So just out of interest, I just thought Nichols' one would be the one there that might pull a surprise,
Just boosted Andy's sort of selection again, really. The second to Boot Hill, who's now rated 158 at Ascot last year. And I remember putting this out as a max on this shirt, Sir Scottish. And I thought it was ridden terribly, Mikey O'Sullivan. I genuinely felt that he just had it in the wrong position at the lacked experience, I felt, at that point of his career. And I think it was the moral winner of that. And I said after the race, I thought if they met again on them terms, Sir Scottish would beat Boot Hill. So if Boot Hill's gone up £18 and Sir Scottish is now £6 higher, well, that leaves Sir Scottish in the well-handicapped zone for me. John?
Andy's completely talked me into Sir Scottish here. So if
we can blame him. That's the beauty.
You can blame him.
I'll be blaming him entirely. If I end up in a warm bath before Christmas, I'm with half a it's his fault entirely. I won't even put that in the note.
No.
But,
make sure you bought your Christmas presents first, then, John.
Yeah.
They're all done and dusted, mate.
Right. Well, there we go. We're safe then.
That's where my hat's getting hung anyway on So Scottish.
Good stuff. 225 Cheltenham. Opinions from me and Andy already. Easy as that. And the Carrots Barn. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Connor Stone Walsh, who seems to be like a Superman at the moment. Am I right, chaps? Is he 2 from 2 over fences or something like that?
He won with his first two. I can check it quickly. Keep talking, I'll check.
Yeah, he won for the Baby Joseph on Solness at Fairyhouse. I couldn't believe what I was watching because I'm thinking, who's this? He looked an absolutely stunning jockey, and I didn't even look who was riding it. Then after the race, they're interviewing Connor Stonewall. He's a flat jockey, but obviously the lad might be struggling with his weight, hence this venture into the old jump sphere.
He's 2 from 5 now.
Yeah.
Over jumps.
Well, his £5 is pretty mustard as well. I forgot to mention that. Anyway, that's enough from me. Chris, what were your thoughts on the favourite from the Sun Now Daily Handicap Chase?
Is that right? Broadway Boy, I mean, he was impressive, wasn't he? But that was, I thought he was all out impressive on pretty soft ground there. Really, I wonder, will he be able to make all like he did last time, really, especially against a stable mate who had no intention of winning in second as well, so that would and going in to bigger fields handicap. The worry is that they give him too much rope and he goes off because he's a good jumper. I know he hit one, but he is, he'll go off on the front. I thought Easy As That was one of the nicest ones, and I know Adam Norman did as well last year. I saw him at Haydock, and by God, he's good looking. I mean, I thought he looked. I mean, listen, the Haydock race was up against fuck all, but he looked a proper one. My only concern would be that I don't know what I backed him last time, and they held him back out the telly, and he just thought, what was the point in that? If Deutsch can ride him a bit more prominent, then because I mean that was abysmal last time out. I'll hedge Easy As That and City Chief. Yeah, they didn't want to win on City Chief last time out. That was a side. So I think this course would suit him better. He's not your typical Nicky horse, is he? He's a bit of a boat really, but he's I think he'll want a strong pace. Broadway Boy will set that up. I think he'll be fitter. Yeah, my two would be the Easy As That and City Chief in that one.
Yeah, fair play. I agree with all cases. City Chief, they'd be my three. I know it sounds a bit corny, all agreeing, but I agree with 300 through 5. Broadway Boy, I've even said last time, what the fuck was that from Tom Bellamy? Like they were selling the horse after the race or something, Look as impressive as you can, like Ballyregan Bob winning his first Open race. Yeah, it was just, for me, it wasn't the right thing to do for a horse's career. And so basically, Broadway Boy, like Chris has just said, is now being rated 146 on the back of that because obviously it pissed up. But he didn't need to. He didn't need to.
But that's the yard, though, isn't it? I mean, that's Twister all over.
Yeah, it's brain dead.
Yeah.
That's what the Cotswolds does for you. Right. I'm getting deep water here. Right, John, have you anything to add on this?
I thought City Chief on seasonal debut looked as though he might need 2. I'm kind of going to take a watching brief until I say that I'll get a look at the horse tomorrow. And if he hasn't needed 2, I think I'll have a little punt on him because I thought he looked desperately in need of the run.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, this is really good listening because, obviously, I were confident on Melina Gill, but I've not considered what you and Chris have said. And even though I like the horse, it's interesting that you think, John, that this was well short last time.
Yeah, I probably gassed up. I thought, yeah.
It
wouldn't surprise me if he still needs this. To be honest with you,
that's unlike Popeye, isn't it?
He's not your typical Nicky horse, though. He really is. I mean, he really isn't your typical yard horse,
Yeah. That's interesting. Like you say, I wonder if it doesn't win tomorrow and so he's eye-catching tomorrow again, do you reckon they've got some kind of national pretensions? Or
could have. I mean, he's maybe had a bit of a cluck pre-season, and that hasn't gone as how he wanted, and then he's decided to run him fit rather than having him fit,
Oh, he's definitely a national. Yeah, that'll be where they're hoping up with him. Yeah,
interesting.
How many national horses has Henderson had?
Yeah,
well, exactly.
Well, yeah, is that to change the trend? Is that it before the gin does his liver?
Is it the gin?
He might be gin. Yeah, he might be gin anyway.
The Hennessy Grand National.
Yeah, it has, it has an effect on me. Some interesting points of view there. Love this chat. It's good. 3 o'clock race, the Albert Bartlett. Again, I struggled with this race.
I thought this was at the Fairs.
Yeah, I know. They shouldn't be allowed to sponsor two, should they?
No.
But it's registered the Bristol. The Bristol. That's the one I remember it as, the Bristol. It's just
Bristol City.
It's just that sponsors now. Do you remember when 32 Red John got rid of the Stewards Cup? You know, when they said like it was the 32 Red Cup, not the Stewards Cup.
That was shit. That.
I'm sorry, we can't have institutional races taken away by dirty big corp. So anyway, back to the subject. Anyone got any views on this to sway me? Because I struggled with this race. I'll be perfectly honest.
Nothing particularly strong. Although you've got to think that the Ronnie Bartlett's got one in here, hasn't he? He's got Cadell taking on. I quite like that horse. I think he might reverse the form with Kerry Hill. They were first and second at Kelso. In fact, this race has been the best British guide to the Albert Bartlett, apart from the fact we usually get pumped in the race, although we did win it last year, didn't we? But no, there were lots of bits of horse. Obviously, all these races are bits of horses.
Yeah,
and you sort of think, yeah, it's got a chance. It's got a chance. I quite like Destroy. I like Destroy the Evidence as a horse. He's a fine-looking beast, but he's obviously going to be much, much better once he goes over fences. I think he really is a 3 mile chaser in the making, but nothing really stood out. Obviously, Popeye's won an egg and spoon at Plumpton. I thought I did like Cadell. The second of Cadell I did like at Kelso, and it might have just slipped a little bit under the radar, that run. And I think he can reverse the form with Kerry Hill. He would be the one to back of the sofa change.
Chris, coming to you with Cadell, right? Why has Daft Lucinda not run this in a handicap?
I was just about to say that. Well, I mean that could be a tip. Well, that could be a tip, couldn't it?
Could be. Exactly. We don't need to bother with 1-2-2. We don't need 1-2-2. We're not interested in that. It's the bigger picture.
All about the bigger picture.
Because I know you like Cadell, and if you don't, like I said, Chris does a great Twitter page, and he's joined Bar Stewards with Andy. Andy's National Notes. Chris is fantastic. 30 to follow. £7 a month. I'll plug it again for all this fantastic knowledge, and it's brilliant. Gets us a coffee, and at the same time, we shall give you sweets. But Cadell was mentioned by Chris in terms of a handicap of 122, but turns up here. But an intriguing puzzle. John, have you anything to finish on this?
I'm quite happy to back Cadell and place Lair the Fav. Popeye's never took a decent horse to Plumpton in his natural life, has he?
You'll get Andy looking now to see what.
I've seen him there. I've seen him at Plumpton.
Frey Bear.
Well, it was in the bar, John. Yeah.
We've done on that. Right, the mares race to finish the Cheltenham card, the 3:35. I felt, and there has to be a sizable doubt, if Nurse Susan got the 2.5 miles, 125 is ridiculous for her form, is it not? I mean, am I wrong or right on this, Chris?
No, Andy? This is the one I'm looking at the 13 to 2 now.
The only thing, she looked massive at Exeter.
Was she fat?
On that chase. Jesus. Her rear end was, oh, Jesus. Yeah.
She'd have been played by Hattie Jakes.
Yeah.
Quality, John. Yeah, she's an interesting one for me. I don't know what they've got lined up. I mean, this is the same owner as Langadan, that they've stunk the place out every year. Langadan for the county hurdle. I mean, it stinks the place out, doesn't it, what they do with that? I suppose it's only like JP, we all is. But it's you don't know what they've got in mind, but 125 for her, she's better than that.
It's more acceptable when JP does it, though. Let's say Tom Donlan chucked 32 million at a fucking charity project. And we might wave one of his now.
I'm sure Dido will sort them all out, John. She'll be all right. She's guiding that old jockey club ship now.
Is this a gin and pate race, or have we got anything solid in this? But Nurse Susan, I'm keeping my beady eyes on her.
Well, if you look at the ones around it, Bonte's trying 2.5 miles for the first time after 9 starts. After 9 starts at 2 miles. So why didn't they try that a bit earlier? Coquelicot is probably better going the other way round. I've never been a massive fan of Theatre Glory. you get beyond, Wind to the Lightning. If you, as you say, if you look back at her form, be worth a chance. And they've all been needing a bit of. If you look at Skelton's, I think he's on record as saying he left them too short, didn't he?
Yeah.
Chris, right? You look at Bonte, it's by a Westerner, which obviously denotes, and you look at the pedigree. The Dam was a bumper, 2 mile 5, 2 mile 6 hurdle winner, and was a half sister to the 3.25 mile chase winner, J&B. There's a lot of stamina in the pedigree, and it's the first time they've gone up in trip. This could be D-Day for Bonte.
Be D-Day for Paddy.
Indeed.
I always worry. The only thing I'll say about Bonte, yeah, you're right on the pedigree. Didn't half have a hard bumper campaign, didn't she?
Oh, no.
Christ, they made work of it.
Why would you do that?
Well, that's Fergal liked it. It does. I mean, that is his MO, isn't it? He is a bumper man, isn't he? He's not afraid to win a bumper, is he?
No.
What's Paddy's record? Is it 1,000 winners or something? He's closing in on.
Just in and out, isn't he? Sometimes I think.
That's a blame. He's not as good as Early Turner, isn't it?
What's her record?
Is that what he's closing in on?
Is it 1,000 winners?
I only heard somebody say today that he needs one more, and I'm thinking, well, one more for pissing what?
You're the one with the books, Andy.
Well, I'll go and have a look it up, won't I? He's been riding since the old king died, so.
I think if I had to have an opinion on it, I think any other stable, I think the mare for Greenhalghs would be shorter, would she not? I thought she was quite impressive last time out at Wetherby, and a third in April. She weren't far behind. I'd tell you what, as painful as that was to me, Deutsch on Maleta, she was loving life up top, wasn't she? I don't know. I thought I wouldn't have a massive strong opinion, but I thought Greenhalghs should be a bit shorter given full.
The votes continue to underestimate the Robson and Jerome of the national training ranks, don't they?
The Robson and Jerome.
That's how I like to think of them anyway.
Yeah, Oliver and Josh.
Yes.
Hell of an image.
That's what he does.
They lost Jess Keel today, didn't they?
Oh, it's really sad.
Yeah.
That's a really sad thing. Very, very bad.
Do you know what as well? Just don't do screenshots of your tips, your wins. You know what I mean? Just leave it, lads.
I know, like I say on that race, yeah, a terrible thing, really. But the old Josh Guerrero, Oliver Greenall thing, John, with this image thing, I've been doing this show 2.5 years, and when you say something, I then create a graphical image, like AI does, and it creates a graphical image. It's like that. Like every time they're going to go with Paddock.
You're going to stood near one of the RKO microphones, aren't you? You're singing Unchained Melody.
Yeah. Oh,
it's a good job you haven't got an AI of the Cleveland Steamer then.
Where we are sinking. We've started.
Dark territory with that one, Andy.
But as Magnus Magnuson said, we'll finish.
I've started, so I'll finish. Yeah.
205. I can't say anything here because I've said Mr. Who. So I'm going to let you guys speak for this one. Chris, I'll start off with you.
Yeah, I back. I mean, Sue Smith, she's there. It's her time now, isn't it? I mean, crikey. She that North Parade. I mean, that thing couldn't jump last year. I think it started at 20 the other day and went into favourite, didn't it, at Newcastle the other day?
Yeah.
My God, they plotted that, didn't they? Nick Schofield's made a difference for her, hasn't he? I think
maybe that's it.
Old Ross, unfortunately. So the step him up in trip. The one that I really thought was a proper horse was Mr. Who.
Yeah.
He finished last time out at Lingfield. He would have needed the run as well. I think he was off 318 days there, and I think he's a proper one. To be honest with you. So, and then I like Cannon as a jockey as well. So I'd probably take it on. That Deeper Blue's got a bit of interest in form. I mean, he had Stage Star off the bridle at Chepstow years ago. I mean, going back a couple of years. He's obviously had issues as well. I mean, they had one the other day, by the way. It was a massive like that. Get your money on high next time. Yeah,
it learned to jump this time.
But he came into it, didn't he? But Mr. I like Mr. Who. Yeah,
good stuff. Andy?
Yeah, Mr. Who was on my long short list for the 3-1 pointers today. It's probably about sort of fifth on it, so I do like him. I've just got a bit. I thought this was quite a deep race actually. Chris has just mentioned Deeper Blue there as a horse I like, and it's quite an eye-catching run last time out. you couldn't write off anything from the Sue Smith yard at the moment. And Serendipity won nicely last time out. Just thought I thought the prices were all sort of about right. I can see where you're coming from with Mr. Who, and I do like the horse. I just thought it was quite a deep race, and I couldn't afford it. If you forced me to back one, it probably would be Mr. Who. But I thought there were 2 or 3 dangers there that just stopped me going in balls deep on Mr. Who. But he probably does look a little bit overpriced. Yeah, I would probably have him favourite in front of Serendipity.
Okie dokie. So, John, would you dip your balls in Uncle Gourmet's frying pan in this race with some roadkill?
I started to have a look at this race, and I couldn't drag myself away from the opinion that what a miserable pair of sods Connor Rabbit's parents were.
Why?
Well, if you're having a male child with the surname Rabbit, why wouldn't you call him Peter?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
That was as far as I got with that race, to be honest.
But that, I'm sure our listeners will love that analogy, of course. And you know for a fact, if me and you, I've done with my offspring now, but if we and you had another one or another child, and we were called Rabbit, we would call it Peter for a certain.
No question.
Yeah, absolutely no danger. That's why we are bar stewards. 240 is the Bet365 handicap hurdle. Interesting that Bet365, I was going to save this for the sermon, but I'll just quick mention that they've increased the overnight percentages on jump races, Bet365. They bet to 30% on the flat, and they're betting to 35 to 45% on jumps races that aren't obviously Cheltenham, etc., etc. So beware, punters overnight. You might be getting stung off the old Port Vale harlot. The 240 at Doncaster, obviously me and Chris are klaxoned up with rare edition, so we've nothing to add. So Andy and John, maybe look at this for us.
I'm gonna do a Nick Davis. No.
No. No.
Just didn't fancy anything at all in the race. So I'll do a Nick and go no.
Yeah, John.
They're terrible days, aren't they? Really. Soaring Glory's been a catalogue disaster, really, hasn't it? It's a horse that was one time pretty promising.
Yeah, is that the trainer though as well? The trainer got it again.
Yeah, he's tonking me.
He's honking. Yeah.
Tommy's Oscar could probably win this, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, at least his attitude's in the right place. Most of these are arseholes, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's fair opinion, but I think if Charlie's got this one fit, I think it goes close. The 3:15, then the finale. Another nice, valuable race Donny's putting on, 50 grand added to the Bet365 Handicap Chase. Forward Plan is obviously Andy's lovely, strong bet in the race for the Honey Monster. He's gone against Mr. Doggy, Chris.
And you would, wouldn't you? Although, I would say, I'm interested to see what Bowen can do on him.
Yeah.
After, to be fair, Bowen had a couple of close ones there. I don't know what he was doing on. What was the second at Donny today over? Was it Bold something or Bold? Oh no.
The thing that got back to the bold reaction.
Bold reaction. He's sounding like our constitution. I know he probably had to deliver him late.
I'm not sure that thing wanted to go past. Though,
no, I know. Yeah,
a real hound that did.
Yeah, exactly. But visually, it was, you just thought, well, go on then, win the race. But
I think they all sit after you called.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm with Forward Plan. One of the clubs that I'm in, lad called Andy Stone, is a owner of this. This has been the plan. He meets Skelton's on better terms. Skelton's got the run on him. Bridget made all. Much better terms. He'll love the grounds. I think at 7, he's got stacks more improvement to come with him, and they're expecting a big run.
Lovely stuff, Chris. That Andy could be on for a good day. John
couldn't look past Tony Blowjob here, really.
Tony Blowjob, yeah. It sounds like some kind of like Dick Tracy Madonna film. I don't know.
What you've been watching?
I don't know.
I got a PG, wouldn't he?
Yeah, some very bad things, Andy. Some very bad things. On that note, then, I think that's a suitable time to finish. And I hope you enjoyed it. Chris and Andy's fantastic insight. Me and John just tag along for the laugh. And of course, your bastards will be back on Sunday for the sermon, where we talk more absolute waffle and slag everybody off. That's all from us. Bye for now.